And it's interesting because I did hear you describe yourself recently as a CIO plus, and I was interested. What does that mean? Noel Toal, a top-tier technology leader, recognised as one of Australia's top 50 CIOs by CIO magazine in 2022 and 2023, and a member of the elite CSO 30 list for 2023, celebrating the top 30 cybersecurity leaders. With over 30 years of experience across major organisations such as Breast Screen Victoria, SS&C and DPV, Noel has driven exceptional results in ICT operations and cybersecurity, earning praise from the Department of Health. Noel's expertise spans data analytics, cybersecurity, cloud computing, digital transformation, and emerging technologies such as AI and automation.
Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. Someone told me that. Someone said, "Noel, you're a CIO plus."
I think you should own it. I've only ever heard you talk about it.
So. Well, then I'll own it then. I think it's a good one. There's a couple of reasons. One, the organisation itself gave me some non-IT teams. So over time, I've accumulated more non-IT teams, which has been really good and strategically useful.
Yeah.
As I rolled out the CRM project, I actually had some teams that would be the initial users.
Yeah.
So I've got all of the reception admin across all the 19, 20 sites, the interpreters, and what we would call the intake team, which is kind of the contact centre, doing the initial referrals, etc. So they're like my plus side to my IT element. And then the other part of it is really, because I keep thinking about CIOs as being the plus. So the other plus for me is we don't have a CISO, I'm the CISO.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got really good people working for me, so it's so really they do the hard work, you know. But we're trying to set the vision and we help deliver. So I've got the CISO and the CIO, but I'm a CIO. So that's the other bit of the plus, is really that cybersecurity, because I think it's the thing that obviously everyone needs to be really careful
Absolutely,
about.
with a lot of dollars going into that side of things. I think I read somewhere you talking about this, but in terms of the tech and the security budget, in terms of how they should be separated.
Yeah, I just now I have this discussion with people frequently.
Yeah.
Because if you they allocate a certain percentage of an IT budget, they say, okay, IT should be a certain percentage of the overall revenue, and then we stick cybersecurity in under that. But my argument is there is not a company around anymore that can open its doors if it doesn't have cybersecurity in place.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, if we just save the money and turn it off, no cybersecurity, you're going out of business.
Yep.
So if it's that critical, shouldn't we separate that out so that when we have to do cost cutting, cycles, the way cycles go.
Yep.
So when you do have tougher economic times and you have to pull back a bit on your IT ops, maybe not do so many projects.
Yep.
Let's not have cybersecurity as part of that overall budget, where you've just said, I need you to cut 5% or 10%, whatever it is, out of ICT budget, because that means you're pressuring cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And I'm saying cybersecurity is your insurance policy to make sure you get to keep the doors open and you don't get bad press, etc. So why don't you separate that out? So that's the cost of doing business. The other bits, we can not do so many projects, that's fine. We can drop these things a bit, but you can't stop doing the cyber. So
I think there's also, and I agree with that, by the way, I think there's also a conscious thing. Again, you'd know this much better than I, but you see the reports that, let's say, 90% plus of cybersecurity issues are human error, not technical error.
Yeah.
So the minute you make it a technical problem, you're actually ignoring the fact that your problem's probably going to come from your people side of things.
Yeah.
So actually separating the budget, separating out your mindset around security, I think is probably a good thing for business, rather than just saying, it's a techie problem, so we're going to stick it with those guys to sort out.
It's true, and that's what I say to the business. It isn't an IT issue. There's a technical component, but it's definitely not just an IT issue. There's a real need for a culture, cybersecurity culture throughout the whole business. A board, apart from their responsibilities as a director, governance responsibilities for it, they also play a role in setting that culture. The CEO, the executive, it's got to flow all the way through. And I like to do it with a no blame, because one day you're going to make a mistake. Yeah. And I've heard too many examples of organisations having some big breach, and someone's done something, they knew they did something, they clicked on something maybe they shouldn't have. Everyone says, did you click on anything? Anyone?
Yeah.
No. 2 weeks later you find out, well, 2 weeks after you've been initially, like you've got a big problem.
Yeah.
So really we're trying to drive the culture of it's no blame, sometimes you're busy, sometimes we all make mistakes, but don't make the mistake of not telling ICT that you think you just clicked on something you shouldn't have, or you downloaded something you shouldn't have. If you tell us, we'll get onto it, we'll fix it, it won't be a big problem. But you don't tell us, we're now got a massive problem.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it really is that culture of we're all in this together, we're protecting the organisation. In our case, we're protecting, very importantly, client data. And we try to make it personal. The clients that you see, do you want them to have their data out there, their sensitive private data out there? No, you don't.
Yeah.
So just help us, right? So it's a real, all the way through, real culture about being cybersecurity alert and aware.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Cool. We're going to move to the next sort of phase of our conversation, what we call the lightning round.